Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. As you can see by the graphic above my head, this one is Unique Swords, and we have a large amount of unique swords to go over. So without further ado, Rixot's Keen. Rixot's Keen Sword Short Sword. 9 to 14 damage, and with only level 2 requirement, a great sword that you can keep around just to throw on any low-level character. It doesn't really matter what it is. And, just give them a little bit of extra boost while they're leveling up. It has 100% enhanced damage, plus 5 to min, which gives it a very good spread of 9 to 14. 20% bonus to attack rating, which means you're not going to have much trouble actually killing things with this. 25% chance of crushing blow, which is really, really cool. 25 defense, and plus 2 to light radius. Just a very nice all-around great sword for a low-level character, a little level 2. I guess you could always upgrade this to the Nightmare or Hell version just for laughs. Run around with 2 Rixot's Keens. But I think this sword really shines at level 2 with your Barbarian or your Paladin or something like that. Just give him something so that he's OP in those early levels. Next on the list is the Blood Crescent Scimitar. The Blood Crescent Scimitar has a level 7 requirement, also a very nice little low-level weapon. However, you see it has less damage than the Rixot's Keen, which is kind of sad. 3 to 10 damage with very fast attack speed, so we're looking at a much faster sword, though. 15% increased attack speed on there, 80% enhanced damage, 15% lifesteal, which is all these stats, except for the enhanced damage, are static. So we've got 60 to 80% on the enhanced damage. 33% chance of open wounds. We've got 15 to life, 15 to all resists, and 4 to light radius. Now, I could definitely see an argument for using like 2 blood crescents on like a barbarian early game. So you get like 30% life steal, you got like plus 30 to all resists, plus 30 to life. You're rocking some pretty good stats there. Again, it's probably not one that you're going to be using much further past level 7. In fact, you'll probably find some better ones pretty soon. All right, so next on the list is the Skewer of Krintiz Saber, 7 to 19 damage. This one is level 10, so as you can see, all these very low-level swords. 80% enhanced damage, which can vary between... 50. I'm blind. 50% enhanced damage, and no variable. Just adds 3 to 7 damage right on the top. Ignores target's defense, which is very nice for a low-level weapon. 7% mana steal, which you may not need early game, but would be nice to have. Plus 10 to dexterity and plus 10 to strength. As you can see with ITD, it definitely is a interesting weapon. Although really early game, most people don't have trouble hitting targets. So ITD is kind of overkill. Next on the list is the Gleamscythe Falchion. The Gleamscythe Falchion is 60 to 100% enhanced damage. Adds 3 to 5 cold damage with a 2-second duration. Has a 20% increased attack speed, which is nice because Falchions tend to be on the slower side. 20 to defense, 30 to mana, and plus 3 to light radius. Nothing super special there. It's nice that it has the cold damage on it, for the chilling effect. It's just a standard sword. Next on the list is the Griswold's Edge Broadsword with 15 to 30 damage. And as you can see, we're getting into the higher levels here at level 17. So you're starting at level 2, getting into level 17. We got 10% increased attack speed, 120% enhanced damage, which can vary from 80 to 120. 100 to attack rating, 12 to 25 extra fire damage, which is pretty nice. And then that can actually vary, though, between 10 to 12 to 15 to 25, so it's kind of like a pretty variable thing there. And it's the minimum damage varies 10 to 12, and the maximum damage varies 15 to 25. So it's an odd variable there. Knockback, which is an interesting effect on a sword because most people don't generally like to have knockback, but maybe it could fit into a build somewhere. And then plus 12 to strength, which is going to help your damage a little bit and also help you put on some gear. All right, next on the list is the Hellplague Longsword. The Hellplague Longsword is 5 to 34 damage. It has a level 22 requirement, plus 2 to fire skills, which is pretty cool. Could be useful on maybe an enchant sorceress or something, or a holy fire paladin, or a anybody who's using fire skills. It doesn't really matter. 80% enhanced damage, Adds 25 to 75 fire damage, 28 to 56 poison damage over 6 seconds. Has 5% mana steal and 5% life steal. So very interesting sword there all around. It could be tagged along, like for instance, if you wanted to do the fire skills route, you could put +2 in your main hand. You could have the Mage Fist gauntlets for +2 here. You know, you could have a good body piece with plus, and you'd be rocking some pretty nice plus to all skill or plus to fire skills if you tagged everything together. The only variable on this one is the enhanced damage, and it's only 10%, so not much of a variable there. Next on the list is the Culwen's Point Warsword. The Culwen's Point Warsword is 14 to 36 damage, +1 to all skills, which is very nice. 20% increased attack speed, which throws it at very fast point. 20% faster hit recovery, 80% enhanced damage, which varies only by 10%. 60 to attack rating, and poison length reduced by 50%. All in all, not a super outstanding sword, but with +1 to all skills. I suppose you could run 2 of these on a barbarian or something, and you get +2 to all and have a decent amount of damage. Although most barbarians, if they're dual wielding, they're probably dual wielding 2 two-handers. Which brings us to the two-handers. So now we're looking at the Shadowfang two-handed sword. Very interesting two-handed sword because it has 4 to 18 one-handed and then 16 to 34 two-handed damage. So we're looking at variable depending on how you're wielding it. Interesting story, I actually cheated 2 of these for my nephew and boosted the stats quite considerably. Actually, I have that on my Twitter page if you want to take a look. It is 100% enhanced damage, which does not vary at all. 10 to 30 extra cold damage added on top with a duration of 6 seconds. 9% mana and 9% life, which are static. Cold resist 20% and then -2 to light radius. Very interesting sword that you could dual wield 2 of, and you could just sit there with your... So it would be 20 to 60 cold damage, and then you'd have, like freaking 18% mana and lifesteal. So it'd be pretty ridiculous. It's just nothing super special about it, though. So it's really up to you whether you want to use one. Next on the list is the Soulflay Claymore with 10 to 24 one-handed and 26 to 60 two-handed damage. Coming in at level 19, we're kind of getting away from the low-level like starter equipment. 10% increased attack speed, 100% enhanced damage, 10% mana stolen, 4% life stolen, and all resistances 5. A very odd sword. The mana steal also varies between 4 to 10%, and the damage increase varies between 70 to 100. Nothing super special about this sword that would make me pick this over any others. Then we have Kinemil's All, which is a giant sword, and as you can see there by the glaring +6 to Holy Fire, it is aimed at paladins. So we have 6 to 32 one-handed damage, two-handed damage of 18 to 56, and then it has a level requirement of 23, which is pretty high. 100% enhanced damage, which can vary between 80 to 100, and the attack rating buff also varies 100 to 150 attack rating. Comes with some extra fire damage, so 6 to 20. That's weird. I can't quite understand what they're trying to say there. Oh, it always is 6, but the top number varies between 20 to 40. Okay, and then 20 to mana, which is interesting. I guess if you're a Holy Fire Paladin, you're probably spamming something. Maybe the mana will come in handy. I'm not really sure quite why they decided to put it on a two-handed sword, because I feel like, elemental attacks are best on fast weapons, like very, very fast weapons, because you can apply them more often. So +6 to Holy Fire, while very nice, on a two-handed sword, it makes it so that you can't really use it as often. But anyway, a nice Holy Fire Paladin sword if you were going to be a Holy Fire Paladin. Next on the list is the Blacktongue Bastard Sword. The Blacktongue Bastard Sword is 11 to 30 damage, 32 to 44 two-handed, 60% enhanced damage, which is 50 to 60. It's a very, very small variable there. 52 attack rating, 113 extra poison damage over 6 seconds, prevent monster heal, and poison resist 50%. Nothing super special in this sword, although if it's better damage than what you have, you might slap it on for a little while. Next on the list is the Ripsaw Flamberger. The Ripsaw Flamberge is 18 to 45 damage, 26 to 67 two-handed damage, and has plus 15 to max, which is going to boost up your maximum damage quite a bit. 6% mana steal and 80% chance of open wounds, which is a nice anti-regeneration effect. Nothing super special here except for the fact that it's a really high level normal sword. So, you know, you can probably put that into a build easily. Last on the normal uniques is the Patriarch Greatsword with 26 to 44 damage, 55 to 92 two-handed damage, 120% enhanced damage, which is variable by 20%. Hit blinds target, which is an interesting effect. Very nice for keeping monsters from being able to attack you. Plus 10 to strength, 100% enhanced or extra gold from monsters, and then magic damage reduced by 3 and damage reduced by 3, which is odd. All right, so now we're on to the Nightmare uniques. So the Nightmare uniques start off with the Bloodletter Gladius. The Bloodletter Gladius is very fast attack speed, and it's level 30. 20% increased attack speed, so to make it even faster, 140% enhanced damage, which is static, 12 to 45 damage, just added straight on top, 92 attack rating, 8% lifesteal, 3 to Whirlwind, which is variable between 1 to 3, and plus 4 to Sword Mastery, which is variable between 2 to 4, as well as 10% slower stamina drain. So you see a nice Whirlwind sword there. Maybe not the highest damage Whirlwind sword, but you could, you know, tag that along with maybe something better, just so you get the plus to 3 to Whirlwind and plus 4 to Sword Mastery. Although, you know, thinking about it, if you tag 2 of these together, you'd have, you know, plus 6 to Whirlwind, plus 8 to Sword Mastery, plus 16% lifesteal, and I don't know, that'd be pretty sweet. All right, next on the list is the Coldsteel Eye Cutlass. Coldsteel Eye Cutlass is 28 to 73 damage with a level requirement of 31. Very fast attack speed with plus 20% increased attack speed. 250% enhanced damage, which is variable between 200 to 250. And 50% chance of deadly strike, which is double damage. We also have hit blinds target, which is a very nice effect for, obviously, you know, taking the monster's sight out of the equation, and slows target by 30%, which is a very nice effect. That is the same as Holy Freeze, Decrepify, the Clay Golem Slow, so very nice to have that effect. In fact, you could tag 2 of these together, I imagine, on a Barbarian and get 60% slows target by, which is going to be amazing. So you'd be talking about 60% slows target, 100% chance of deadly strike. You know, hit blinds target, I think actually stacks as well. So, very nice, interesting sword to stack 2 of just for fun, maybe for PvP. Alright, next on the list we have the Hexfire Shamshir. The Hexfire Shamshir has plus 3 to fire skills, 160% enhanced damage, 140 to 160. It has level 6 Hydra charges on it, very interesting. And ignores target's defense, which is also very interesting. It almost seems like this was made specifically for an enchant sorceress. So, you know, when you're swinging a weapon, you got your enchant up, plus 3 to fire skills, ITD, so you don't have to worry about your attack rating. So very interesting there. Plus 10% to your maximum fire resist, which is nice, and then 25% to your fire resist just right on off the bat. So an interesting fire skills sword there. Next on the list is the Blade of Alibaba, which I'm pretty sure was a thief. The Blade of Alibaba has 120% enhanced damage, which varies really a large amount from 60 to 120, so you know it can have almost half as much damage there. Plus 2.5 per character level of extra gold from monsters, up to 247%. It has better chance of getting magic items, 1 to 99, so 1% per level. It comes with 15 mana, 5 to 15 dexterity, and 2 sockets. So very interesting there that it comes with 2 sockets. I imagine if you wanted, you could probably use this on a level 99 character just for the magic find. So wait till it gets the 99 better chance of magic items, and then throw in 2 runes for extra magic find, and you'd be looking at a pretty high number there. Probably somewhere around 150, 200%. Interesting. It's probably exactly what they intend you to do with it. Is maybe like throw in some runes and just use this on like a sorceress or something. Alright, next on the list is the Ginther's Rift Dimensional Blade. The Ginther's Rift Dimensional Blade has very fast attack speed with 30% increased attack speed, 150% enhanced damage, which varies by 50%, so 100 to 150%. It has 50 to 120 magic damage added onto it, and magic damage is far more valuable than fire, lightning, ice, or poison. So, you know, when you see 50 to 120 magic damage, what you should be reading is, oh, well, that's like 100 to 240, you know, of any other element, because most targets don't have very much magic resistance. Magic damage reduced by 12, and then repairs durability 1 in 5 seconds. So an interesting one if you found an ethereal version. Next on the list is the Headstriker Battle Sword. The Headstriker Battle Sword has 40 to 86 damage, a level requirement of 39, plus 1 to maximum damage based on character level, which is 1 per level. So at level 39, you're talking about 39 extra max. At level 99, you're talking about 99 extra max. 1% deadly strike based on character level, which is double damage. So that varies between 1 to 148% based on character level, so 1.5 per level. And prevent monster heal with 15 strength, so very interesting effects there. The damage is obviously going to scale with you, so it might be one of those weapons you keep for a little while until you find something much, much better. All right, next on the list is the Plague Bearer Runeward Sword. The Plague Bearer Runeward Sword has 35 to 150 damage, a 5% chance to cast level 4 Poison Nova on striking, 150% enhanced damage, which is static, adds 10 to 45 extra damage right on top, with 300 poison damage over 8 seconds on top as well. 5 to rabies, druid only, and poison resist 45%. So I think we can safely say that the reason why they want you to use this on your druid is the plus 5 to rabies. And then the extra poison damage right on top of that. So very, very interesting. And I think the 5% chance to cast level 4 Poison Nova on striking is also pretty cool. I would definitely use this on a rabies druid just for laughs. If I was going to use it past level 41, though, I might want to upgrade it to the Hell version. Just depends. All right, next on the list is the Atlantean Ancient Sword. The Atlantean Ancient Sword is 63 to 150 damage with 200 to 250% enhanced. It has plus 2 to Paladin skill levels, which is very, very nice. 50% bonus to attack rating, which is also very, very nice. 75 defense, 8 to vitality, 12 to dexterity, and 16 to strength. So very interesting sword all around there. Definitely an interesting Paladin sword nonetheless. And then last on our ones for this character is the Crainte Vomir Espadon. The Espadon is 160 to 200% enhanced damage, 50% increased attack speed, slows target by 35%, negative 70 to monster defense per hit, 20% faster run walk, and damage reduced by 10%. So some very interesting effects on this sword. Right off the bat, we're looking at the fact that it has, 20% faster run walk on it, which is odd for a sword. It has 50% increased attack speed, which is also very odd. It's a huge amount for a sword. It has slows target by 35%, which means you could stack 2 of these and you could get a 70% slow, which is very, very nice. Negative 70 to monster defense per hit, and then of course damage reduced by 10%, which is also odd for a sword. So you're looking at 20%, if you stack 2 of them, 20% damage reduced by negative 140 to monster defense per hit, slows target by 70%, and 100% increased attack speed. So really, really sweet sword there. All right, so we have to move on to our next character, which has the rest of our swords on it. All right, so first on this character is the Bing Sz Wang. Dacian Falx. 33 to 78 damage, 67 to 150 two-handed. It has a level requirement of 43. Pretty low strength requirement of 64, by the way. 5% chance to cast level 3 Frozen Orb on striking. So very good way to get a good chill effect going. I'm not going to do much damage level 3 frozen orb, but I mean, imagine you're constantly, you know, spraying these level 3 frozen orbs. Everything's going to be nice and chilled, nice and slowed for you. So very interesting there. 160% enhanced damage, which does vary between 130 to 160. 50 to 140 cold damage with a duration of 3 seconds. Freezes target +2. 20 to strength, and negative requirements 30. So as you can see here, this sword seems to be really based around the fact of I'm going to freeze my targets, I'm going to chill my targets, they're going to be slower, they're not going to be doing a lot of damage to me. So it could be very interesting to tag this sword together with the previous one we were talking about, the Crainte Vomir, which has slows target by 35%, because you would be slowing the target, chilling the target, and freezing the target. So 3 different slows there. They would have a really hard time even hitting you. Not much more to say about this sword other than the fact that it's very, very chilling. Next on the list is the Vile Husk, and I think by the name you can assume it's poison damage. 30 to 111 one-handed and 57 to 174 two-handed. 6% chance to cast level 1 amplify damage on striking, which is a very nice double damage effect. So any target that is affected by amp damage is taking 2 times as much damage. 200% enhanced damage, which can vary between 150 to 200. It has +% damage to undead, which varies 7.5 per character level up to 742% at level 99, which is a huge, huge damage bonus. And then attack rating versus undead as well, which they always seem to go hand in hand, don't they? +10 per character level, so 10 to 990 at level 99. 250 extra poison damage just slapped on top. And then poison resist 50%, so very interesting weapon there. I assume that if you didn't have any source of amp damage as like a barbarian, it might be nice to throw this in the offhand just so you can get that sweet double damage. You know, obviously it might not be the best damage sword in the world, but amp damage is going to double your damage, so you're going to have to work that into the equation. All right, next on the list is the Cloudcrack Gothic Sword. At 42 to 120 one-handed damage, 117 to 180 two-handed damage. It is level 45 requirement with a pretty high strength of 113. 6% chance to cast level 7 Fist of the Heavens on striking. Pretty cool. +2 to defensive auras, +2 to offensive auras. 200% enhanced damage. Adds 1 to 240 lightning damage. 30 to defense, 10% to maximum lightning resist, and attack critics damage of 15 with +2 to light radius. Now, as far as variation is concerned on this, there is only a little variation on the enhanced damage at 150 to 200%, and that's it, believe it or not. So you find a Cloudcrack sword, if you find a 200% enhanced damage Cloudcrack sword, it's going to be perfect. So, as you can see there, it seems to be aimed specifically at paladins, with not only having a chance to cast a paladin skill, Fist of Heavens, but also +2 to defensive and +2 to offensive auras. No plus to combat skills, though, there, so it kind of depends on what you're building. 1 to 240 extra lightning damage on there is pretty sweet, though. All right, next on the list is the unique Zweihander, which is the Todesfaelle, I think is how you say it. Todesfaelle Flamme. So obviously it seems to be French. 49 to 91 damage one-handed, 75 to 140 two-handed damage, 94 dexterity, and 125 strength requirement here. So we're obviously getting into the swords that are a much higher requirement than others. Level 46 requirement there. 10% chance to cast level 6 Fireball on attacking. So very cool. Not going to do that much damage, but a nice little effect. Fireball does have almost like a little explosion sort of stun, which is pretty cool. And that is very helpful to hit recovery targets around you. Kind of helps keep you alive. I don't think that it's going to do very much damage, but I wouldn't turn down extra fireballs shooting out as I'm wailing my sword around, especially if I was like a whirlwind barbarian, because the fireballs are going to shoot out and help keep them from dealing damage to you as you whirlwind through. 160% enhanced damage here, so we're looking at a variable of 120 to 160. Adds 50 to 200 fire damage, just straight on the top. Fire resist 40%, plus 10 fire absorb, and then it has level 10 enchant charges and level 10 firewall charges. Now, I'm not really too crazy about the firewall charges there, but the enchant charges are actually going to help you out a ton. Not in the damage department, but in the attack rating department. So enchant actually does give, I think it's like 140% attack rating around level 10. I'd have to look that up just to be 100% sure, but very, very interesting to have enchant on there so that you can boost up your attack rating when you really need it. You'd have to find some way to recharge that, obviously. Swordguard Executioner Sword is the next one. At 67 to 112 one-handed damage. Two-handed damage of 131 to 224. Much lower requirements than the Todesfaelle Flamme. So, interesting there. Probably because it has negative requirements on it. 20% faster hit recovery, which is always nice to have. 20% increased chance of blocking, so they kind of want you to use this with a shield. 180% enhanced damage, plus the defense based on character level, so 5 to 495 if you're at level 99, so it's plus 5 per character level. 200% defense versus missile, 100%. 200 defense versus melee, sorry. 100 defense versus missile. All resistances 20, and 30% of your damage taken goes to mana. A very defensive sword all around. You know, they're giving you blocking chance, they're giving you extra defense, they're giving you defense versus melee, they're giving you defense versus missile, they're giving you all resistances, they're giving you damage taken goes to mana. Very much a sword that you would use on a barbarian with a shield. That's what they're trying to get you to do. So the one-handed with a shield, very interesting. All right, and that does it for our Nightmare uniques. So now we are on to the Hell uniques. So the Hell uniques actually start with the Adagon, not the regular sword. So this is the Djinn Slayer. The Djinn Slayer is 88 to 156 damage, 240% enhanced damage, which does vary between 190 to 240. It has 100 to 150% extra damage to demons, 300 to attack rating, which varies to 200 to 300. It has 250 to 500 extra fire damage just added right on top. Could be a great option for a enchant sorceress, just so you can get that extra fire damage. Believe it or not, Fire Mastery does augment that fire damage and make it even more effective. 6%, 3 to 6% mana steal, and then 3 to 7 lightning absorb with 2 sockets. So it's going to come with 2 sockets. Very interesting. Not really quite sure what I'd use that for. I mean, it's a very interesting sword, very nice damage, but nothing like too amazing is sticking out at me. I mean, it almost seems like it's made for a sorceress, especially with the kind of lower strength and dex requirements of some of the Hell uniques. Not sure what to think of that one. Next on the list is the Bloodmoon Elegant Blade with 118 to 162 damage. Level 61 requirement with some very high strength and dex requirements there. 260% enhanced damage, so 210 to 260. Lifesteal of 10 to 15%, 50% chance of open wounds, 7 to 13 life after each kill, and a level 15 Blood Golem. Level 15 Blood Golem's actually going to survive for a while, but without any bonuses like summon resist and things like that, I'm not really sure it'd be worth it. I don't know about that. I guess if you're trying to make some sort of summoning character that has like all the summons, but it's not actually a summoning character, like maybe you're a paladin or something, and you're trying to like get like an iron golem and a blood golem and like a bunch of skeletons and like a little minions and whatnot. I don't know. Seems weird. Moving on. So next on the list we have the Lightsaber Phase Blade. The Lightsaber Phase Blade is literally named after the Star Wars lightsaber. 103 to 135 damage with a dexterity requirement of 136, so very high dexterity requirement there. Required level 58, very fast attack speed. 5% chance to cast level 20 Chain Lightning on attack, so very nice lightning damage there. 20% increased attack speed, 200% enhanced damage, which actually does vary from 150 to 200. But the damage, physical damage on this isn't what draws people, it's the elemental. It has 10 to 30 added right on top. It has ignores target defense, which is going to make it a very good weapon for someone who's maybe not skill-based. Adds 60 to 120 magic damage. As we talked about earlier, magic damage is very, very nice. It's pretty much double an elemental damage attack. Adds 1 to 200 lightning damage also. 7% mana steal, which varies from 5 to 7, and lightning absorb 25%. So very elementally damage sword there, with the magic and then the lightning and the ITD and the chain lightning. Very much so something that you'd put on somebody who wants lots of elemental damage. Pretty cool. And of course, like most phase blades and whatnot, they tend to have very low durability unless they are socketed with like an indestructible rune or something like that. Next on the list is another phase blade. So we have two phase blades. We have the Azurewrath. The Azurewrath phase blade is 114 to 129 damage. Level 54 requirement, same dexterity requirement as the other one. Very fast attack speed. Level 13 Sanctuary Aura when equipped, which is really only going to help you against undead. +1 to all skills, 30% increased attack speed, 270% enhanced damage, adds 250 to 500 magic damage, so way more magic damage than the lightsaber. But no ITD on this one. 250 to 500 cold damage, +10 to all attributes, and +3 to light radius. So a very beautiful sword there for elemental damage. You're talking about... I would just go ahead and double the magic damage right off the bat as far as effectiveness is concerned. So we're probably talking about 500 to 1,000 magic damage, which would equate to elemental damage. So like 500 to 1,000 elemental with the 250 to 500 cold, so you can just add those straight together, and you could say 750 to 1,500 elemental damage right off the bat there. So very, very elemental damage sword. Very beautiful. Frostwind Cryptic Sword is our next sword, with 16 very low min to 254 very high max sword at level 70, with 25% increased attack speed, 230% enhanced damage, 237 to 486 cold damage, +14 to Arctic Blast. Woohoo! That's obviously meant for a druid. Freezes target +4, cold absorb 15%. Half freeze duration. Arctic Blast is a terrible skill, and I doubt even if you were level 20 with +14 to Arctic Blast would it still be any use at all. I mean, you're talking about level 34 Arctic Blast there, with I'm assuming, like, say you had +1 here, so 35, +2, 36, 37, 38, and then maybe like 39, 40, and then maybe if you had plus to skills here, you'd be like 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. I bet you even Arctic Blast at level 50 would probably still be awful. But hey, could be something to test out just for fun. Next on the list is the Flamebellow Balrog Blade. The Flamebellow Balrog Blade, where are you? There you are. 51 to 255 one-handed, two-handed damage of 187 to 401. 12% chance to cast level 16 Firestorm on striking. It's just extra fire damage. +3 to fire skills, 240% enhanced damage. Extra fire damage right on top, so 233 to 482 extra fire damage. +18 to Inferno. So seems to be aimed specifically at a sorceress. I mean, you'd be looking at 20 plus 18. I mean, that's already 38. Plus whatever your skills are. Of course, Inferno also not the greatest skill in the world. +20 to strength, +10 to vitality, and fire absorb 30%. So some very niche weapons here. Both one is aimed at Arctic Blast and one is aimed at Inferno. Doombringer Champion Sword, 114 to 289 one-handed damage, 278 to 390 two-handed damage. Required dexterity and strength are pretty high with a level requirement of 69. And as you can see, it's indestructible. 8% chance to cast level 3 Weaken on striking. Weaken is a negative to the damage of the monster. I believe it's 33%. 250% enhanced damage, which varies from 180 to 250. 30 to 100 extra damage just slapped on top. 40% bonus to the attack rating, which is very sweet. 7% lifesteal, which varies from 5 to 7. And increased maximum life 20%. Maximum life increase is huge, so that would be very useful. Especially if you could tag 2 of these together and get an increased life of 40%. So, not really sure, though, about that. Alright, and last on our list is the Grandfather Colossus Blade at 87 to 229 one-handed damage, 203 to 404 two-handed damage, and a pretty high strength requirement there of 189 with a level requirement of 81. It's indestructible, 250% enhanced damage, which varies from 150 to 250. It has plus maximum damage per character level. According to the game, it's plus 2, but according to the website, it's plus 2.5. It might be a problem with the older version, because I pulled this from an older file. Let's go by the website's stats. So plus 2.5 per character level, which is 2 to 247 maximum damage, 247 being level 99, and it has plus 20 to all attributes and 80 to life. Very interesting. So all in all, we have a huge number of swords to choose from. Definitely a very interesting category because obviously you have multiple things going on here. You have characters that can use them as two-handed. You have barbarians that can use them as one-handed and two-handed. You have quite a large number of choices from elemental damage swords to physical damage swords to slowing swords. I guess you could call them PvP swords, like ones that give slows targets by, and then you got like freezing swords like the Bing Sing Sz Wang. Very interesting swords all around. A lot of choices. If you're a sword barbarian or anybody who wants to wield swords. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Unique Items. This is the end of the unique swords. If you want to find any of these swords, as always, I have the links down in the description for Magic Find, a Magic Find video, as well as resources on how to pull these items up. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
He's a little booty. He's a little booty, aren't you? That's a cute little booty.